What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind. Sounds like I messed it up there, but I'm going with it. This is where we go back and we can give you all of your tech news stories from the past 7 days in one single video. This one's special because we have 8 videos in this one single video, and it spanned everything from the new Galaxy Bud Beans, which are going to be the Galaxy Bud Lives. We've got information on those. We've got information on the Galaxy Fold being delayed, the second version anyway. We have information, tons of information, the price, specs, photos, everything on the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, new Google products for their Nest line, and so much more. Watch this week's episode, enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next one. And always, as always, let me know what your favorite news story is of the week. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy S20 line of phones. If you have the unlocked version like myself, there's a new July update out. It's very small, so it's just a security update, but go into your software updates, settings, software updates, download and install the update. It'll push you up to the July security update. And who doesn't want to be safe and secure? Next up is all about Oneplus's super budget phone, at least super budget in terms of what they might think. The Oneplus Nord, again, which is going to come out in India and Europe initially. It might not ever come out to America. If it does, I'll let you guys know. But this information comes from Ishan Argarwal, who says OnePlus Nord is launching on July 21st. Yes, it will be a special AR launch, which is augmented reality. And you will get a chance to grab the physical invite, which through you might get lucky and win OnePlus products. The invite is already up on Amazon India, but will be available soon. So July 21st, the launch of the OnePlus Nord. Speaking of launches and release dates, Galaxy Note 20 line of phones, Note 20, Note 20 Ultra phones, which I have heard from an inside source, that's exactly what it's gonna be called, Note 20 Ultra. So let's go with Note 20 Ultra from here on out. Also, August 5th, I heard, again, from an inside source, someone that knows, that they will definitely hold it on August 5th for the launch date. And now this other information, release date, we've heard release dates before, and this is some more information leaking out. This is saying Galaxy Note 20 release date expected to take place on August 21st. And this is kind of what I've been saying from the beginning. Someone, I think it was John Prosser, said August 20th, but they never release phones on Thursdays. It's always Fridays, so I think I originally said August 21st. And that's what looking like it's going to be August 21st for the release date when you'd actually have it in hand, at least most everybody at that point. Of course, some people, most people, let's be honest as well, will get the phone days, maybe a week earlier than this date as well. So, but regardless, official release date looking like August 21st, which is almost a little more than a month away. And the last 2 stories about the Galaxy Fold 2. Now, before I go any further, let me fix that name because it's not going to be called the Galaxy Fold 2. It's going to be called the Galaxy Z Fold 2. That's right. Inside sources are saying Galaxy Z Fold 2. You have the Galaxy Z Flip. Now you'll have the Galaxy Z Fold 2. I'll be honest, I don't like the Z being in there. I wish they would just call it Galaxy Fold. And give it a number after that, you know, whatever number you have, the first generation or second generation. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like that Z name in there? I'm not digging it. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the charger that comes inside of the box for the Galaxy Z Fold 2, 25 watts. So that will match the same charger that comes with the Galaxy S20 Ultra phone. So very, very good, very fast charging. Obviously 45 watt is the absolute fastest, but 25 watt is awesome. It's gonna charge your stuff really, really quickly. I have a huge leak and one exclusive photo, at least for a little bit, for the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. It comes from Jimmy's Promo. He's a YouTuber. I'll link his channel. I'll link his Twitter down below. At the time of making this video, he has not released a video. He will have a video showing this phone in hand. He has, or had, the potential of having this phone in hand. Check out his channel, subscribe to his channel, follow his Twitter, do everything. He's an amazing friend of mine. Met him a bunch of times at these different events. Very cool guy. So let's talk about what he has posted and the exclusive photo he sent me as proof to show that it's in hand. So the first photo you can see right here is the front of the phone. You see the bezels, you see the buttons on the right, the volume up and down, and the power button. You can see it has the same or aka similar UI to what you would get with any other Samsung phone. A lot of that's not a big surprise at that. You see the battery percentage, the cell signal, the Wi-Fi, all that stuff in the top right, camera in the top middle. It looks like he put some black tape or something over the top left to block out the identification of who this phone is from or and all that, so they don't get identified. The next photo shows the amazing looking back. And now the camera bump is absolutely humongous. It's huge. It's huge. It looks like a Galaxy S20 Ultra. Again, not a big surprise. I can deal with it. Put a case on it. It's fine. You see the buttons on the left, but when you turn it over, they're obviously on the right. Other than that though, you do also see the S Pen with the button on there that allow you to be a shutter button or control it in all different kinds of ways. We don't know a lot about the S Pen at this point in terms of new features that they've added. Hopefully they've added some, because that's the rumor, is that new features have been added with that S Pen. But it's taking design language from the S20 Ultra, but ultimately I think it looks better. I like the circling of the cameras, the depth of it. It looks cooler. It looks, I don't know, I just like the design of it better than the S20 Ultra on the back, at least the camera module. This photo shows him holding it in hand, or at least I believe it's his hand. And again, you can see the camera bump on there, which put a case on there, you won't be bothered by it at all. Shiny reflective back there. And then the camera module, again, I just love the way that looks. The circling of the cameras on there just gives it a different, more, I don't know, kind of modern, cool look to it. Here's a head-on photo showing off the top half of the phone, where you see the camera bump, the tape on the top left, which obviously won't be there when you get the phone. Again, that just blocks out the identification of the person. Then you see the cell signals and all that, the buttons. Again, a very similar look to what you've seen on any other Galaxy phone. And lastly, this, he told me, is an exclusive photo that I can show off. You'll probably see this elsewhere, but this is a photo showing off the S Pen pointer, on how you can control it to move the pointer and press and hold the pen button and move your S Pen, kind of like what you would do on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus that came there with that. You can also change the color, change how big or small it is, show a trail, laser pointer, change the speed of it. Awesome, awesome stuff. Again, I can't stress how much I appreciate Jimmy's promo for not only sharing these photos with basically the whole entire world. He has on Twitter at this point. He'll also make a video, so make sure you follow him, guys. He makes awesome Samsung videos, and mostly Samsung stuff, but he'll make other videos as well on LG and all these other companies as well. So follow his channel. He's got a ton of subscribers already. Link down below. Thanks again, Jimmy. Tell me what you guys think of this Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, the black one. I love the look of the back of it. I mean, I know some people are gonna hate that camera bump, but I have a, look at, you can't even tell it has a camera bump with this case on. When I take it off, this S20 Ultra, you can see a camera bump. I don't know if you can see it on camera right there, but there is one. It doesn't get in the way with a case. Let's get into the tech news. We have a bunch of information, some of it completely exclusive, some of it known if you've been watching the internet as of late, but let's jump into all of it. First of all, if you didn't know, Jimmy has promo leaked out a bunch of photos of the new Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, the black one, showing it on basically all of its glory with the screen on, the back of the phone, and all kinds of information. I actually released a video late yesterday. If you haven't seen that video, I would definitely recommend you watching that, as I go pretty in depth with those photos. So this first image comes from Jimmy's promo saying running on Samsung phones this August, Note 20, Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, and you can see One UI 2.5 will be coming out for the Note 20, Note 20 Ultra, which is going to be the newest version of One UI, which we're currently on 2.1. Next up is a photo comparison, and it's posted by Ice Universe, and he goes into a couple of things though. Kind of obvious, but it's good to know anyway. He said, I shot Note 10 Plus at the same angle. Let's compare the subtle differences between Note 20 Ultra and the Note 10 Plus. Number one, Note 20U is more square, so you're gonna see more squared off edges with this phone. He said Note 20 Ultra bezel is narrower, so definitely a smaller bezel all the way around the phone. The Note 20 Ultra camera hole is smaller as well, and you can definitely see a size difference with that, which would mean more screen real estate, even if it's just by a little bit. And then lastly, Note 20 Ultra seems to be more curved. So he's saying to get more curves, at the same time, more squared off. I don't know how that's possible, because to me, I don't know, it seems like the Note 10 Plus is a little bit more curved, but regardless, those are some things that you might not have noticed about the two phones. The last three things, I don't have anything to show you in terms of photos or anything like that. All I can tell you is that an inside source told me these and they've been confirmed. Okay, so let's talk about these. The first one being base storage for the Note 20 Ultra. Base storage, RAM amounts on there are gonna be 12 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of base storage. That's gonna be the bottom line for you guys right there. I assume the next step up's probably gonna be 512. I don't think it's gonna be a 256. So there you go, 128, 12 gigabytes of RAM base storage. What about the S Pen? Your Note 10 Plus S Pen will fit inside of the Note 20 Ultra. So when you return your Note 10 Plus to Samsung, maybe do that trade-in, keep the S Pen, you can use it with your new Note 20 Ultra. Now I know you're probably following up with a question that's gonna be like, well, what are the big differences? I don't have that information for you right now, but in terms of size and where it will fit, Note 10 Plus S Pen fits in the Note 20 Ultra. The last thing is definitely going to upset people, and this could change. This is early software, so with this, again, things could change overall, and what I'm saying might end up being different from what I'm about to tell you, and that is, with the display here on the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, what's it, S20 Ultra, but Note 10 Ultra at 120 hertz will only run at full HD plus, AKA 1080p plus 120 hertz. You cannot turn on 120 hertz at 2K plus, AKA WQHD plus. This is a rumor that was going back and forth recently saying it would have it, wouldn't have it, and again, it could change. It's a software update they could theoretically push out, but as of right now, with the phones that are out there right now that people have, it only runs at full HD plus 120 hertz. A little bit of a disappointment. And my question out to you guys is, with all the information that's been leaked out, photos, technical information, anything else you can think about this phone, are you still gonna buy it, or are you gonna be like, no, I'm just gonna keep on to my Note 10 Plus or Note 9 or Note 8, or I'll just get the S20 Ultra or what? Let's get into the news. First story of the day is about future Galaxy phones from Samsung and what potentially might not be included in the box. Now, this seems to be following Apple's lead, because if you didn't know, Apple supposedly starting this year, the iPhone 12 will not come with a charger inside the box. And it looks like this story coming from a South Korean website is saying Samsung smartphones will not sell with a charger as well. And this is gonna start next year. So pretty interesting news from the South Korea and Samsung that this might start happening in 2021. One thing I can understand why they'd wanna do this is a couple of things, a few things actually. It reduces cost in multiple ways. So one, you don't have to include a charger, which makes the box lighter, the packaging smaller. Those are three things and three costs that'll, even if it saves pennies, they sell millions of phones, this is gonna save tens of millions of dollars. And then beyond that, people that want the charger are going to buy a charger. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't really care that much at this point. I have so many freaking chargers with my phones that have gotten throughout the years, and a lot of my fast chargers that are 25 watt or 45 watt. So I'm absolutely fine. Now I can see someone coming over from Apple over to Samsung that might want, a Samsung USB-C charger. I understand that's gonna make the cost go up as well. But how do you guys feel? What do you think? Next up, again, about future Galaxy phones from Samsung and the processor that's going to be inside. So half the world gets the Snapdragon version of the phone, like this year we're getting the 865 or 865 Plus, and then the other half of the world gets the Exynos processor. It looks like possibly starting as early as next year, everyone in the world that gets a Samsung Galaxy phone, that includes the US, Korea, wherever you are, would get an Exynos processor. Now this comes from your favorite Chun is back, and he says, I can confirm that Samsung won't use Snapdragon 865 again for their S21, which of course they're not gonna, so he should have probably put 875. Instead, I heard that Samsung could use Exynos 1000 for all S21 variants, US, China included. And then another tweet from Mauri QHD says, Galaxy S21, Samsung debating internally if to use the Snapdragon 865 again, that now will be cheaper. Some of the points being used, cheaper S21s for the public, same price, more profit. Tiny price cut, still more profit. Exynos 1000 looks better. Snapdragon 875 is overkill. And one of the big rumors slash news coming out about the Snapdragon 875 is it's gonna be like mega expensive. And it's true, a lot of people don't need all that power. So if Samsung can come out back with their processor and make it compete wholeheartedly with the Snapdragon series, then this is a win for everybody. Cheaper prices, hopefully. We'll see what happens. If you didn't know, I put out a video today announcing that I got my official invite to Samsung Unpacked 2020, which is August 5th, and it will be virtual this year. Well, this tweet goes along with that. This is, again, your favorite Chun is back, saying the Galaxy Tab S7 and Watch 3 won't be released at Unpacked 2020. In fact, Samsung already has a dedicated date for both, and it's only 2 weeks later. This, again, not that surprising because of the fact that they've done this in the past. They've released the Tab, I believe, earlier in the past for sure, and the Watch as well. So again, not too surprising. They'll still probably talk about it at Unpacked, but again, they'll give these their own little small press conference, or maybe even just a release straight without any press conference. Last story is all about Jimmy is Promo, who has hooked us up, the world and myself, with photos and stuff of the new Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Check out his video. He goes through a bunch of things there, have it be with the S Pen and just the overall look of the phone. So check out his video. It is linked down below. Thanks. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day kind of goes along with the video that I just released earlier today about the Galaxy Bud Beans versus the Galaxy Bud Pluses. And this tweet comes from your favorite Chun is back, saying, guys, if you're planning to buy the Galaxy Bud Pluses now, just hold your money on, because Galaxy Bud Live is a major upgrade from the Galaxy Bud Pluses with way better sound and has some kind of active noise cancellation and new beans designed, but at the same price as the Bud Pluses. Now that's two things that might hold people back. Is the price is quite similar. The price I've heard is within about $20 of each other, or will be about $20 of each other, where the Bud Beans Lives, or whatever you want to call them, will be a little bit more. The other thing to take hold is the design of the beans. The beans are going to look maybe not as cool looking. They almost look like a hearing aid. So people might not like the design, but if you're into better sound with active noise cancellation, then you're definitely gonna wanna get the beans. Next up, Mari QHD put out some iPhone 13 prototypes. Now the iPhone might not ever look like this, but these are prototypes that are floating around Apple, and they're pretty ugly. Taking a closer look at these, you can see the first one on the left is kind of a similar design to what we get currently with Apple phones, with the 4 cameras, which is a crazy amount of cameras, a flash smack dab in the middle, and then you get a LiDAR scanner right there to the right. That's that big circle that's off to the right of the camera module, which, I don't know, kind of looks kind of strange. And then the phone on the right, again, another design, but it keeps everything inside the module. The 4 cameras are more spread out. The flash is still in the middle, and then you have the LiDAR scanner at the top there. It's just, that looks way too wide. If I was Apple, I would do the one on the left, but this could change. I've heard that they have different prototypes every couple of months, so neither of these might be used, but it's just interesting to see different designs that Apple's working with for the iPhone 13. As you can see from the headline, Qualcomm has announced Snapdragon 865 Plus will power the Galaxy Note 20 in some markets, such as China and the US. So if you live in a market where the Snapdragon is coming out for the Galaxy phones, you will most likely get the 865 Plus. And remember, the 865 Plus is just a overclocked, I'm hitting all kinds of things, an 865, so it's gonna be a little bit faster. Not crazy, amazing faster, but it's just a better performance a little bit. And the last story of the day is about the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. We have specs and we have the charging speed. There was a rumor, there was a story going around that it was only gonna come with 15 watts of fast charging, which is equivalent to phones from years ago. Now we're at 25 watts and 45 watts on the newest and latest Galaxy devices, at least the phones anyway. And it looks like this one could come back to 45 watts, at least Danish authorities, it went through some kind of certification with them, and they had announced that it has 15 watts and 45 watts of fast charging, which is amazing. Hopefully this still remains true. 45 watts, a lot faster than 15 watts. The other big thing is, like I said, is the specs. The S7 Plus AMOLED display will have a resolution of 2800 by 1752 with a 267 ppi. One thing to know is that the Tab S7 Plus will not be as sharp a screen as the Tab S6 was last year. Comes with an S Pen with Bluetooth built in. The processor inside will be a Snapdragon 865 Plus. There'll be a couple of versions, and you can either get 6 gigabytes or 8 gigabytes of RAM with either 128 gigabytes of storage or 256 gigabytes of storage. A micro SD card should be included, but wasn't confirmed. There will be a 5G variant of the Tab S7 Plus with sub-6 frequency bands, but that means Verizon customers might not be able to take advantage of this 5G tablet. Battery inside is 10,090 milliamp battery with dual rear cameras, 13 megapixel and 5 megapixel sensors, and an 8 megapixel front camera. Out of the box, it'll have Android 10 and run One UI 2.5. And lastly, there is an in-display fingerprint sensor on the tablet. Another powerhouse tablet from Samsung, faster, bigger, stronger. Remember, 11 inches and 12.4 inches for that Tab 7 Plus version. That's a really, really large tablet. So let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is Nest's next speaker. Now, remember, Nest used to be Google Home, at least the speakers were called that. Now they are going to be called Nest speakers, and they've been like that for I think about a year at this point. They're coming out with a new one, and they've released an official photo to XDA developers, and here it is. Some people say it looks like a loaf of bread, at least a little bit. It looks beefy. It looks like it's going to be, it looks like it's going to be quite sizable, which means I think it's going to have amazing sound. At least you would expect it to. No pricing info or anything like that, or release date info, but you would assume it's very, very soon because it's also passed through the FCC. Just a moment of time until we get the new Nest Home speaker. Next up, real photos of the Galaxy Tab S7 have come out through certification. At least you can see what it looks like here. Not a ton to look at because it's just a slab, a slate, whatever you want to call it. But again, this is a Tab S7 and Tab S7 Plus, and this is what they look like with the screen turned off. Speaking of the Tab S7 Plus, as you know, we talked about specs yesterday, which if you haven't seen that video, definitely watch it. But one thing that wasn't talked about in there, we know it's going to have, is 120 hertz refresh rate on the display. Well, what about the resolution at 120 hertz? Here you go. This comes from your favorite Chun is back. I said, what resolution at 120 hertz? He responded back to me saying, uh-oh, full HD again. So it looks like Tab S7 Plus, if you want to run it at 120 hertz, it's going to be 1080p plus. Come on. Come on, Samsung. And the last story of the day, and I think the best story of the day, Galaxy Bud Live Earphones. Yeah, I said it right. Earphones. This is going to be what they look like. These look to be real pressed renders coming out here, showing off the case and the colors of these. Looks like white, bronze, and black. You can see the L and R on the case, at least on this bronze one's pretty easy to see. Then you see the little connectors where they'll connect into, the earphones will connect into the case when they charge. It looks, maybe it's small, but from the photo, it looks kind of big. But again, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how big it is, but it definitely looks fairly large for the most part. Here's a larger look at the earbud itself. You can see the little speakers in there and all that stuff. And so it looks pretty interesting. Definitely looks like a bean. And these are supposed to come out, I believe, at about $149.99. And they should be out very, very soon, maybe within the next couple of weeks. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day about the Galaxy S21. Now, this won't come out, obviously, probably until like March of 2021, so a full, 6-7 months away at this point. But still, maybe you're curious how large the display might be. Now, this tweet comes from Maori QHD, who says, Galaxy S21, Samsung is testing different options, not set in stone yet, for their biggest screen, which would be their Ultra version, whatever they end up calling the S21's best version. However, they call it at the end 6.911 inches, 7.076 inches, or 7.095 inches. Now with the Galaxy S20 Ultra, you get a 6.9 inch display. So you're looking at slightly bigger or maybe 0.1 inches bigger than what we currently get now. So basically the same screen size as next year. And hopefully next year's version will get that QHD Plus at 120 hertz. No news on that just yet, but regardless, you're looking at a slightly larger phone versus this year. Next up, if you're getting the Galaxy Note 20, Note 20 Ultra phone, and you're in an international setting, like aka outside of USA or Canada, where we get the Snapdragon version, and you get the Exynos version, well, there was rumors that the Exynos 992 would be coming to those folks, but it doesn't look so. This is coming from Ice Universe, who says, damn, Exynos 990 continues. And people that have the S20 version with the Exynos 990 in there complain about battery life, a little bit of performance, and just overall overheating. And this isn't a good thing, and it looks like it's going to continue with the Galaxy Note 20 devices. The 992 doesn't look like it's going to be coming to any current devices, because the rumors after that going into 2021 is that Samsung would go to the Exynos 1000, which obviously would be a better processor than the 990, but again, that's next year. And the last story of the day makes me quite disappointed, because as you can see from Max Weinbeck's tweet, it says, Fold 2 isn't happening at Unpacked. And this is truly the phone I've been aching for the last few months. I really want this phone. It's a good upgrade over the Fold 1, and it's a phone that is different enough from, any other slab of glass like we get with these phones, where you can make it, into this nice large, or aka small display, small tablet, so that you can carry it around or close it up and use it as a skinny type phone. 6.23 inches on the outside, and then 7.59 inches when it's completely opened up. And it looks like it's going to fall into probably maybe September or October before it's actually released. There's rumors that it's going to have its own announcement in September, which seems kind of weird. I can't imagine Samsung's going to have two announcements within a couple of weeks of each other, or at least a month of each other, to do something like that. The cost of putting everything together on separate events, it just seems not very smart. And maybe they'll just release it. They could just release it, but it seems kind of weird. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll announce this Unpacked and it'll still get released in August or early September. But it looks like the earliest it's probably going to be released is September, October, maybe even later than that. Let's get into the tech news. We've got two stories today, so let's get into them. The first story is about Google Nest. Now, Google Nest, as you know, or if you didn't know, is smart home products from Google. It's their Nest brand. And tomorrow, aka Monday, they put out a tweet for today saying, take a deep breath and prepare. Something special is coming this Monday, which is aka tomorrow. And we should be seeing new hardware, at the very least, a new Google Home. We've seen that in the last few days, a picture of it. So at least that. And I assume other stuff as well. I'm not totally sure exactly what we could see. Maybe an updated Google Nest. They haven't released one of those in a while. I can't imagine they're gonna update the doorbell yet, or I don't know. I'm excited though. I have Google Homes all throughout my house. That's the thing that I use the most in terms of my smart home assistant. And then I have their Nest cameras all throughout my house. I have, well, I think that's it for Nest product. Oh, I have the Nest thermostat as well, a Nest fire thingy, to tell me if there's a fire issue, whatever, I can't even think what it's called. But anyways, yeah, hopefully they release some cool new products that we can get. What do you guys think they're gonna release? Let me know in the comment down below. And the last story of the day about the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, Note 20 Ultra, and the price that it potentially could be. Now, this tweet comes from Sam Chun, who says a Vietnamese retailer just showed up the Galaxy Note 20 4G and Note 20 Ultra 5G price. Note 20 4G price is going to be about $1,000. Remember, this is a conversion from Vietnamese dollars. And the Note 20 Ultra 5G is going to be $1,300, same as the S20 Ultra price. Now, if you think about this for a second, you're probably going to say, well, here in America, it's $13.99 and $15.99, and someone brings that up in the comments actually, and he goes on to say that actually Galaxy flagships in Vietnam are actually cheaper than the US by about $100. If this comes out to be true, you're looking at least the base versions anyway of the Galaxy Note 20, Note 20 Ultra being $1,000 and $1,399 here in America. And then maybe if they come out with a larger version in terms of gigabytes and stuff, it's probably gonna also be about $15.99. And that's kind of what I've been thinking. I've been saying I thought it was gonna be $12.99 and $14.99, and maybe it still will be, but it looks like it's gonna be about the same price as, where's my phone? Right here. My Galaxy S20 Ultra. This is a $1599 version, extremely expensive. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be in that $1399 to $1,000 price range for both phones. But ultimately, it's still gonna be very, very expensive. At that point, your question of the day is, with these prices, if they stick, $1,000 for the Note 20, $1399 for the Note 20 Ultra, are you gonna buy it? Let me know in the comments down below. I still plan on purchasing it, but ultimately if I had to choose between the two, I'd probably still choose the Fold. But again, as we talked about yesterday, the Fold's probably not gonna be out until later this year. Thanks for watching. See you down the road. Peace.